Hello viewers, welcome again to MBTV Weekly Property Roundup. We bring to you top developments from Indian real estate space, which is going to have a lasting impact on you as a consumer. I'm Prasoon Kumar, Marketing Head of Magic Bricks, and with me, Jayashree Kurur, Senior Real Estate Journalist and Editor-in-Chief of MBTV. Welcome, Jayashree.
Thanks, Prasun.
Lots of important developments, Jayashree, for consumers this week.
Yeah.
And first big news came where banks, including SBI, are working on restructuring the loans, home loans, which would result in EMI deferment for a few more months for consumers who have had complete loss of income. Uh, Big relief coming consumers' way.
Yes, this is the first time that the consumers have been given a restructuring and this massive restructuring at that. And the thing is that many people who've lost their jobs are still wondering how they can come out of this mess. So clearly, it's not only the consumer; it's to save the banking system itself. Because if the consumer doesn't have money and can't pay, they'll become NPAs. So there are 2-3 things that have been offered to them. One is restructuring, so that right now you pay a smaller amount and it can step up later once you get your job market is settled. The second thing is that you can defer payment for a few more EMIs, and once the job market stabilizes, your job stabilizes, you can start paying. So both of them mean that the consumer does not become an NPA.
Right. So the good loans turning bad is what government is the deferment is what government is working on. That's great. And another good news that came was the long pending and the biggest pain point of consumers, the Jaypee township in Noida. Now registrations can begin for the completed flats there.
Right.
Uh, big relief for consumers there.
Yes, absolutely, Prasun. I think if you look at the entire Noida, Greater Noida saga, what's happening now is that they are saying one is get projects completed, and the second one is get registration started. Both of those are happening across Noida, Greater Noida, and Wish Town being such a large project. This is a huge relief to consumers.
Yeah. And moving towards Mumbai, Jayashree, now there we have it's a countrywide problem though, which is obviously unplanned development and illegal development and then regularization of the same. Now we also see that happening in Mumbai again, where Cidco is offering amnesty scheme for regularization of change of plots usage.
Yeah.
And Navi Mumbai is all coastal area, mangroves and everything else. How sensitive is this news?
Very sensitive. It is actually the foothills of the Western Ghats. This is actually our watershed area, right? This is where the monsoon hits India and comes in. So it is very important that we look after those. But there's a lot of development that has happened, and we have not necessarily monitored the development or made sure that everything is legal. Now, today, what's happening is that, as like in every other state, they are saying that jo ho gaya, so ho gaya, 150 to 200% penalty pay karo aur isko regularize karo. You know, it works. Actually, Prasun, it works. If you say that from today onwards, I will not let any new defaults happen. But somehow, whenever they're short of cash, they regularize, they charge penalty. But I don't see them stopping the this thing. See them stopping any new defaults.
Hmm. That's right, and environment being such a sensitive matter and such a hot topic at this point of time, we somewhere probably there may be a need for a larger debate and discussion around this entire regularization business, and for how long will it go on?
Yeah.
All right, staying with Mumbai, Jayashree, an important part of Mumbai's real estate also is the redevelopment. And on that end, news came that the BDD Chawl residents at NM Joshi Marg are refusing to now move without final agreement with MHADA. Now, redevelopment has its own challenges, and we have always seen that the projects run late or never start in a lot of cases because of the court battles and everything else. In this case, since MHADA promised them the agreement before they are shifted to their temporary accommodation, and has not happened.
Yeah. And this is something that where consistently, whether either it's developers or development authorities, letting down those people who move with a promise of better life, right? When you are living in a chawl and you're promised that we are going to construct this permanent structure for you, the success of any housing scheme has to be its delivery. And everywhere our delivery has been tardy. So now the consumers have taken up the cudgel, so have the slum dwellers, saying that Mera ghar le liya hai, I will not sign this agreement till you actually, some regulator has to step in and say, look, if you're promised, you'll get it on time.
That's right. And the consumer suffering does not stop with one developer or one market. It's a saga across markets that we have seen. While Jaypee is getting resolved, Amrapali has seen some progress.
Yeah.
There are challenges with Supertech and a lot of other developers in North, and there are so many developers in West and South as well. Now, news came that UP-RERA is yet to recover over 500 crores from defaulting builders, and some of these builders are pretty big names in North.
Yeah.
What is the significance and impact of this for consumers?
See, the thing is that 2,000 recovery certificates have been given. That's worth over 600 crore. But very few have actually been realized and transferred. The good news is that 15% has been realized. And Prasun, I'd like to tell our consumers that the fact that some of these consumers have started seeing some recoveries is actually good news. It's one small baby step forward. But the bigger news here is that now they have gone to the district magistrates. They have asked the development authorities to actually facilitate that these houses which are in default, they can be auctioned, the money recovered, and the process is moving very slowly, but it is moving. And I think consumers should take heart in it. And the names that are on the list, are some of the big names. We can see that somebody has complained about Supertech, and I'd like to call it out. Supertech is in that list. It's in the recovery list, and the authorities, whether it's RERA authorities, the government authorities, are trying to see that if you have paid and your projects are stuck, how it can be done. And I would really exhort you, Mr. Badrinath Bhatt, you have been consistently coming to our show, and I really empathize with you. But I would like to tell you that do go to the conciliation forums in UP-RERA. It's one of the best RERA authorities in the country. Do try and see if you can find some solutions there. And we on our part will push your case forward.
Absolutely. And Jayashree, we have one more viewer right now asking us to discuss the impact of COVID-19. Now, COVID-19 and its impact we have discussed multiple times, but just to summarize for Apurva Mayekar, who has asked this, we did see developers getting 6 to 9 months of extra time to complete their projects because of the impact that government has given, and the extra credit and stress fund and the allocations have started from there for completion of projects. Would you want to just tell Apurva some of the moot points around COVID-19 management for real estate?
Apurva, COVID-19 came at a time when a lot of resolutions were already underway. They hadn't happened, but they were underway. Whether it was the Supreme Court, whether it was the NCDRC, the NCLT, all these cases had been in various courts and various authorities at that time, even with RERA. I think I'd like to tell you that even during this period of COVID, when the lockdown was happening, every RERA authority has made the effort to continue the process of reconciliation, and a lot of consumers have actually found solutions in conciliation. The developers on their part have got the banking system has given them some extra time. Restructuring of loans has been discussed, and we've also seen that they've been given extra time. But the good news is that there are certain developers who are standing up and saying, "I'm not going to avail of that extra time. I don't need it. I can actually finish on time, and I'll keep my RERA deadlines." So I think that is a big step forward. The serious developers who have not over-leveraged themselves are saying, let me complete and give my projects on time. As far as the consumer goes, I think consumer demands have changed a little bit. Instead of saying, I would like to be right next to my workplace, people are saying, if I can be anywhere a little further away where I can get a slightly larger space so that it can take care of the work from home requirements. These consumer requirements have changed, and developers have gone back to the drawing board to see how we can, one, complete the projects and give the projects, hand over the projects as soon as possible. Many people have been saying, many bankers have been saying, we take way too much time to construct projects. We take almost 4 years, and they are saying we should crunch that down to about 18 months. In terms of the development authorities, the Supreme Court has told the development authorities that if you did not monitor your projects on time at the right time, today the first right of delivery is for the consumers. So they have scaled down the amount of money that developers have to pay. The interest rates have been rationalized to MCLR +2. So which means that consumers can expect that their registrations will happen. And if you notice the last few weeks, we have been talking about how registrations have started in different markets.
Absolutely. So there's a lot of positive takeout that has happened there. And because of COVID, a lot of changes have happened in the way things are happening. And that's good news going forward. But yes, the fact remains that if you are an existing consumer, there would be 9 to 12 months of delay in handover of your project. And that's something that you need to factor in your scheme of things.
And that you also have got a restructuring of your loan. You've got a margin period when if you can't pay, the consumers' problems have also been taken into account.
Absolutely. So with that, this is it for this week, consumers. We'll come back again next week with important developments from the real estate space. Till then, keep watching MBTV.
Thank you so much for watching.